Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This chapter is chapter 1049, The World That Should Be. This week's art is a continuation of the Germa Double Six Emotionless Voyage. The book that Yanji and Niji are inside is burning. My guess is it's probably Ichiji's work, although he and Reiju were reported to be on Chocolate Town. So unless they got all the way there or the book's in Chocolate Town, it's hard to see where the logistics are here just yet. But somebody burned the book, so those two are getting out, which means hijinks are going to ensue. Obviously, off-screen hijinks because that's how the cover stories work. But you're not here for the cover story. You're here to see what happens with Luffy's giant fist hitting the giant magma Kaido. And fortunately for us, that's exactly where the chapter begins. The two of them are clashing against each other, and Kaido poses an interesting question to Luffy. What kind of world are you trying to make? And we finally get the start of our Kaido flashback, which actually, if I'm going to be honest with you, is not nearly as long as I was hoping it would be. We do learn a couple things about Kaido. We learn that he was born in a kingdom called Vodka, the kingdom of Vodka, and ever since he was a little boy, because, he was actually, a little boy once, apparently, Kaido did love combat. He kept asking for more of it. He didn't really respect the idea of the Celestial Dragons, mostly because of how strong he was, and he ended up getting sold by his own kingdom to the world government. In exchange, the Vodka Kingdom has a place in the Reverie that year. So, Kaido's never really been a fan of authority of any kind, whether it's his own kingdom that sold him into marinehood, or the very celestial dragons who sit atop of the world. Unfortunately for the world government, Kaido breaks out really easily. In fact, he sometimes intentionally gets caught just because he's hungry, using the ship's prison as a buffet, and then just booking it when he's done. But we get to see little footnotes of Kaido's life. Him joining the Rocks crew, or actually first him arriving on Pirate Island, then joining the Rocks crew, then the Rocks crew getting disbanded, Big Mom's looking for him but she can't find him anywhere, and eventually leading to Kaido becoming the leader of Onigashima. I mean, yeah, Orochi's there, but Kaido's, the actual leader. Kaido's flashback, though brief, does end with Kaido telling King the story of Joy Boy and how Yamato found out about the name somehow, and even Kaido's like, I'm wondering where the brat even got that name, but I think I figured out who Joy Boy is. And King asks him who that is, only to have the flashback end before Kaido can tell him. Outside of Kaido's flashback in Luffy's battle, we get little blips of what's going on. We see Raizo and Jinbei's flood taking everyone to safety, however rushed and brutal it kinda is. We see Robin and Brook underwater, since the two of them can't swim. Beppo seems to be taking a plunge. Frankie is telling people to hold on tight. Sanji's trying to grab as many women as he can to keep them from being washed away. And we do see the water has not reached the, wherever it is that Orochi was hiding out with Hiyori, but fortunately Denjiro is there comforting her. As everybody is being saved from this giant flaming problem, we see CP0 has managed to escape. The last living member of CP0 is hopping away using Skywalk. I'm gonna guess he's gonna go to one of the countless naval ships that is surrounding Wano. Again, I don't think the Navy ships are that big of a problem. We have Zunisha, but they do make a nice dramatic effect, I'll admit that. The only real takeaway for CP0 is we learn the masked agents are super strong, but they're also not able to make their own decisions. Like, they have no free will, even if it means jumping in the middle of Luffy and Kaido's fight. So I'm not really sure what this CP0 agent hopes to do by leaving Onigashima. He's absolutely failed in every sense of the word. Neither captain of the pirate crews are dead, and no one really got defeated. So yeah, CP0 kind of ended up... I mean, they were threatening, and they did hurt a lot of people, but they, all in all, ended up being a huge net zero. I'm hoping later CP0 does something a lot more intimidating, because so far, not that impressed with the so-called most powerful members. I'm more looking forward to the ones I actually know, Lucci, Kaku. Heck, I'd even like to see Spandam say a couple things to the Straw Hat crew, even if Luffy will have absolutely no clue who he is, because that's just how Luffy views people. But now, with all that out of the way, the chapter concludes on Luffy and Kaido's clash, meeting its final point. As Luffy and Kaido are pushing against one another, Momonosuke in his big dragon form looks upon the clouds of Onigashima. Yamato is yelling out to him because it has finally happened. Kaido's flame clouds are gone, and Onigashima is going to fall. And that's when Momo finally musters the strength, he's got the will, he's had the motivation the last few chapters, and he finally creates his own flame cloud, catching Onigashima and starting to lower it gently to the ground. Meanwhile, during Luffy and Kaido's clash, Luffy finally answers Kaido's question. What kind of world does Luffy want to create? And Luffy says the most Luffy answer to a question like that: I want to make a world where everyone I care about can eat as much as they want. So, Luffy wants prosperity. Luffy wants everyone to eat. Luffy wants a feast. And with that, Luffy's punch finally rings through to Kaido, knocking him to the ground of Wano below. Kaido's flashback then trickles back in, with King asking him, so, who's Joy Boy? Kaido says, Joy Boy is the man who will defeat me. And King says, well then I guess we're never gonna meet him. So that's it. Kaido and Luffy, their fight's over. Onigashima has been saved. Or has it? Honestly, I don't know. Kaido and Luffy's fight has been a little different from all the previous fights. Luffy brings out something new, then his opponent brings out something new, and then the two of them clash until victory is seen. In more recent fights we've had, like Doflamingo and Katakuri, there's been a moment where Luffy's had to retreat for a bit, but Luffy's had to retreat from Kaido a couple times, and has had to break out new abilities a couple times. For example, Luffy had to learn Ryuo to actually hit Kaido. Then he learned how to embed his Conqueror's Haki into his Armament Haki to hit Kaido even harder. Then Luffy had to learn how to use Gear 5th by awakening his Devil Fruit. So this hasn't followed the exact 1-to-1 ratio. Kaido's brought out just as much as Luffy has. I wouldn't be shocked if this was the end of the fight, but I guess I wouldn't be shocked if it was either. I could go either way, personally. I don't mind if the fight ends here. I would love to see Kaido break out something more, because if he does, that might mean we could get more info on Kaido. I really wish Kaido's flashback had had a little bit more of the Rocks Pirates in it, because I really want to know what happened when Garp and Roger fought against Rocks, and I'm starting to think that that's going to be a Laugh Tale flashback instead of instead of a Kaido flashback. But the other thing I find really interesting here is that King is waiting for someone. See, Kaido says, hey King, if everything you've told me is true about the guy you're waiting for, I think that guy might be Joy Boy. So if we combine all these things together, Luffy is Joy Boy is the guy King is waiting for, but the guy King is waiting for is not exactly Joy Boy, but Kaido thinks they might be the same person. Who were the Lunarians waiting for that fits the description of Joy Boy, who the world government fears and hates? There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that Luffy fills in. While I think King is going to stay loyal to Kaido, I also believe King, having the great respect that he does for Kaido, might end up respecting Luffy if Luffy defeats Kaido, because obviously if Luffy defeated Kaido and Kaido said Joy Boy is the man you're looking for, King, then obviously, believing in Kaido's words, King would believe that Luffy is the guy that Kaido believes is the guy that King believes that he needs to find. I think that's how it's going to go. But if it really is the end, if Luffy has defeated Kaido, get ready for the next few chapters to be lore dumps like we've never seen, because that's just how One Piece works, and I'm looking forward to some lore dumps, and I don't know about you. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is the hero of Julios, Xing out.